Kagwanja, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Is it too late in the year to say Happy New Year? Or
No,
we're still in order?
The year is too young. 10 days into it, or 11.
Okay.
It's still very young.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you so much, for making time and being part of what we're calling the crystal ball. So very quickly, we just want you to look into your crystal ball as you look into matters international affairs, so that hopefully in 12 months' time, we'll circle back and look at some of the analysis and predictions you'll make right here and see what came to be, what didn't, what hadn't we seen might happen between now and December. And for you, we're speaking to matters international affairs. Of course, right now, a couple of days back, Kenya finally gets into the United Nations Security Council. We saw Ambassador Kimani put the flag right there. What's your expectation this year for us in that particular seat?
I think we'll be championing African interests. And African interest focuses on areas of conflict, what we call flashpoints. There are certain gains we've made in a number of ways. Congo will be on the agenda. We're going to have Sudan on the agenda. South Sudan is on the agenda. These are areas where the United Nations have peacekeepers and where stability is needed. We're going also to get major challenge from Somalia. Possibly, if Somalia elects an alternative leader to Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, then Kenya is going to have it very easy, particularly if you get a leader who can cooperate. Currently, that's not the situation, and therefore the election that is due to take place between now and early February, in about 30 days or so, is going to be determinant of Kenya's success in intervening in Somalia. Obviously, Kenya is not going to be kicked out of Somalia, contrary to euphoric views that are coming from political rhetoric in Mogadishu, because Kenya is not in Somalia as Kenya. It is there as part of the United Nations Security Council. In fact, Kenya's presence in the UN Security Council is going to be safeguard that.
What about the sticky issue of that maritime dispute between us and Somalia?
That is true. Kenya now has an upper hand because it can smooth around with the big boys and continue to do what is happening, basically putting the case in ICC, International Criminal Court, within what you can call, in abeyance, as we try to sort out the question of amicable discussion of that. Somalia has been hawkish about this. Tanzania and Mogadishu are discussing. Tanzania and Mozambique are discussing their common border. South Africa and Mozambique are discussing their common border. South Africa and Namibia are discussing their common border. It's all over, but none of them is getting to the International Court of Justice. So I think, Somalia overplayed this. There is an innovation of the maritime trade between the countries of Eastern Africa across the Lake Victoria. And Kenya has renovated the sea lines in Lake Victoria. From MV Uhuru, if you go to Kisumu, it's wonderful. The new Port Bell, the station, is now up and running, and a lot of goods are now moving from Kenya to Uganda by the rake, and that is now opening up trade. Now, continentally, Kenya is now moving to basically clinch its position on the continent. We have seen opening up of embassies with a very special mandate for what we call economic diplomacy. And most of the offices now embassies opened in Ghana, in many parts of West Africa, in Senegal, and so on, are all geared towards widening Kenya's economic footprint across the continent.
On my checklist right now is now matters legal, international that is, and late last year we got a letter from the AG, and you're speaking to the ICC, and they had asked for assistance as far as Paul Keshero, the lawyer, is concerned, and the AG said that, and this is a quote, it may not be, at this point in time, they may not be able to assist the court as contemplated. This coming off the back of a country that said it was going to strive to have multilateral cooperation once it gets into this Security Council seat. What happens now? Now that they have the seat, yet there's this issue in their backyard. They comply and assist.
The international court of, criminal court is a very controversial institution. And the fact that the Americans have, particularly under President Trump, have the relationship has been so strained, has undermined the ICC. Remember, Bensouda, the prosecutor, is a persona non grata in the United States. And she's increasingly going to be a persona non grata in many countries. ICC is a necessary instrument in global governance, but it is one that is a hostage of the nature of international relations that we have, which are based on the sovereignty of states. I think by empowering it, they undermined the sovereignty of Africa. And that itself became a contentious issue. Heads of states of the African continent are on record having said that ICC was contravening and even undermining the sovereignty of Africa. It was actually Africa's new Guantanamo Bay. I'm quoting a title of one of the books by African scholars. And therefore, it has a very, very bad reputation. On the continent, resistance to the ICC created regional courts, like, for example, the East African Court of Justice, and many other regional jurisdictions in order to be in charge of our own destiny. So I don't think the Attorney General was on the wrong to have done what he did.
You don't think that position will change?
No. He was, and there was no contradiction between our support for multilateralism and the ICC. Remember, some elements of multilateralism are not essentially multilateralism. They are agents of global hegemony of certain powers. ICC, to all intents and purposes, was an instrument of European hegemony globally, and that's why it's failing. The Americans resisted it, Indians resisted it, Chinese resisted it, Russians resisted it. It's only the European Union. And it was the instrument of recolonization of the African continent, which has failed. So I have no tears for ICC.
Okay.
I'm sorry about it.
Even as you wind this up, I want to take your view. When you look at the key indicators from where you stand in your study, what's your key indicator for 2021 as far as Kenya international affairs is concerned?
Oh, this is the golden year for Kenya.
2021?
2021 is the golden year for Kenya because we are at the apex of the global leadership and governance. We are the only English-speaking part of Africa. The other two countries are, what you call francophone countries. So we are championing the interests of very many African countries on this continent, and we need really to put our best foot forward. I was part and parcel of the team that advised South Africa in, I think, 2008. And I think 2000, and I wrote quite a number of articles on that. When South Africa went to the UN Security Council, so they put two powerful ambassadors with a huge experience in learning international affairs. That's why South Africa was so successful in many spheres in championing Pan-Africanism. Kenya has to be the champion of Pan-Africanism in 2021. I have no doubt it will succeed, but it has to put its best foot forward. Currently, it is not. Yeah.
That's why we leave it as far as it's concerned, Professor Kagwanja. Thank you so much for your time. We'll do this same time, same place, 12 months from now.
Game.
Okay.
Deal.